Hello everyone, I'm Santanaka. Nice to meet you. Today, I will introduce a method to install WSL from sources other than the Microsoft Store. Usually, as shown in the video, you select and install from the Microsoft Store. However, it is useful to remember that you cannot install the same version of the same distribution twice from the Microsoft Store. However, if you export and import an existing distribution, you can duplicate it. Now, let's get started with the actual process. Since I have already installed Ubuntu 24.04 from the Microsoft Store, I will download the same Ubuntu 24.04 from the official site. Download the root file system image, and if the file name includes WSL, that's the correct one. The file you download will be compressed.
I see, so you integrate the downloaded file into WSL.
Yes, Tamugi, that's correct. Here I would like to explain a few benefits of using this method. Please listen, as it will be informative. The first thing that comes to mind is that it is a simple process that only requires importing. This step is convenient because you can use the same version of the same distribution. Now, let's move the downloaded file to an easy-to-find location. In the video, I create an appropriate folder directly under the C drive and move the downloaded file there. There is no need to manually unzip this compressed file. While we plan to import the official image into WSL now, you can also import the environment you are using on your actual machine. Since we have placed the file in an easy-to-find location, let's import it into WSL and check its operation.
It's great that we can bring the current environment as is. That's helpful.
Yes, with some tweaks, you can even use the desktop environment. In the current video, we are entering a command to check the current state of WSL. You can see the Ubuntu installed from the Microsoft Store displayed. And the next command is the import command. Adjust the file location and file name to match your environment.
I see, so if you change the file name to a file you created or to another distribution, you can use that instead. It's great that it's customizable.
Yes, although I haven't fast-forwarded, it completed relatively quickly. Upon checking, a second one has been added, and it seems to have been imported successfully. Since we have it, let's start the distribution we just imported. Oops, it started successfully, but we are logged in as root. There is a way to address this, but we have other things to do first. Let's check with Explorer.
Once WSL is installed, a Linux icon is added to Windows Explorer, allowing you to browse the file system within WSL. It's very convenient, isn't it? As expected from Microsoft, who knows Windows inside out.
Yes, it's a unique feature of WSL, and it seems that the virtual hard disk for this distribution is created in the same location as the compressed file. We will delete the downloaded compressed file to save space. When installing from the Microsoft Store, a user is created at the first startup, but when created custom, you are logged in as root. Even in a custom-created WSL environment, it is strongly recommended to create a regular user. Some people may be resistant to longer commands. However, sudo is a convenient tool in Linux for executing commands with administrative privileges only when necessary. Recently, sudo for Windows was announced, allowing command elevation in Windows 11. So, let's go ahead and add a user.
Indeed, when installing Linux on a PC or using cloud services, the default is usually a regular user. It was troublesome at first, but I'm finally starting to understand it.
Yes, it seems the user has been created. Next, we will add the new user to the sudo group to grant administrative privileges. However, even though we have added the user, the default login upon subsequent reboots will still be as the root user. So, we will edit a file to change the default user.
The file name includes WSL, so this is a WSL-specific configuration file, right?
Yes, this file is a WSL-specific configuration file and does not exist in a regular Ubuntu installation, so it's important to be aware of that. By editing the file like this and restarting WSL, the configured user should become the default. Upon reboot, the configured user has indeed become the default. Just to be sure, let's check the state of WSL. The WSL created using the custom image is running, so there's no mistake. Here I will introduce some methods to set up WSL from sources other than the Microsoft Store. One method I actually tried was migrating the environment from my physical machine to WSL, and it worked well. My physical machine has a desktop environment, but even in WSL's black screen, the desktop can be displayed through remote connection. So, this time I introduced several methods for setting up WSL. See you all next time. Goodbye.